R. Kelly's dramatic fall from a celebrated music icon to a convicted felon serving time in a federal prison has been marked by controversy, legal battles, and now alarming allegations of a conspiracy to end his life. According to claims made by his legal team, the embattled singer is not only navigating the dangers of incarceration, but also facing what they describe as a deliberate and sinister plot orchestrated by prison officials to have him killed. These allegations, detailed in court filings and amplified by Kelly's supporters, paint a chilling picture of a prison system allegedly weaponized against him, raising questions about corruption, abuse of power, and the vulnerabilities of high-profile inmates. The story, as laid out by Kelly's attorneys, centers on a series of events that unfolded in 2025, involving a terminally ill gang leader, secret deals, and a near-fatal medical emergency that his team insists was an assassination attempt. To fully understand the gravity of these claims, it's necessary to explore the intricate details of the alleged plot, the prison environment, and the broader context of Kelly's legal and personal struggles. The narrative begins with Glenn Stein, a longtime inmate and reputed shot caller for the Aryan Brotherhood, a notorious white supremacist prison gang. Stein, who has been incarcerated since 1982 for murder, has a well-documented history of violence and influence within the federal prison system. According to court documents filed by Kelly's legal team, Stein provided a sworn statement in May 2025 claiming that prison officials approached him with an extraordinary proposition. Stein, who was battling terminal cancer and facing a limited lifespan, alleged that a Bureau of Prisons BOP official named Ray Childress, along with other high-ranking officials, including Warden Gutierrez and Associate Warden Stangl, offered him a deal that seemed straight out of a crime thriller. The proposition was simple but shocking. If Stein agreed to kill R. Kelly, he would be transferred to a facility where he could spend his final days as a free man, with any charges related to the murder conveniently dismissed due to lost evidence. Stein's statement detailed a history of alleged cooperation with prison officials, claiming that over his 13 years in various federal facilities, he had carried out violent acts, including assaults and murders, at the behest of BOP officials in exchange for privileges like protection from cell searches and the ability to traffic contraband. The February 2023 meeting, however, stood out as unusual. According to Stein, the discussion took place without guards present, a highly irregular and suspicious circumstance that underscored the gravity of the request. The officials reportedly framed Kelly as a threat, not only because of his convictions for crimes involving minors, but also due to his legal team's ongoing efforts to uncover alleged misconduct during his prosecution. Kelly's attorneys were reportedly preparing to expose evidence of illegal wiretapping of attorney-client communications and obstruction of justice, which could implicate high-ranking BOP and Department of Justice DOJ officials. This, Stein claimed, was the motive behind the alleged plot to eliminate Kelly before such revelations could surface. The deal was clear. Stein would be transferred to FCI Butner in North Carolina, where Kelly was serving his sentence, and tasked with carrying out the killing. In return, the authorities would ensure that any evidence tying Stein to the crime would disappear, allowing him to escape prosecution and potentially walk free. Stein, aware of his terminal condition, initially agreed to the plan. His transfer from a Supermax facility in Colorado to FCI Butner was executed with remarkable speed, occurring on October 17, 2023. He was placed in a medical unit until March 2025, when he was moved to Kelly's housing block, giving him direct access to the singer. For weeks, Stein allegedly shadowed Kelly, observing his routines and identifying opportunities to carry out the hit. The setup was ideal, with Stein's proximity to Kelly providing ample chances to act. However, as the plan progressed, Stein underwent a profound change of heart. As a man confronting his mortality, he began to reflect on his violent past and the moral weight of his actions. On April 11, 2025, instead of executing the hit, Stein approached Kelly directly and revealed the entire plot. He warned Kelly that his life was in imminent danger, naming the officials involved and detailing the scheme. This revelation not only shocked Kelly, but also created a new problem for the alleged conspirators, as both the target and the would-be hitman now knew of the plot. Stein, seeking redemption, offered to testify in court, undergo a lie detector test, and provide witnesses to corroborate his history of carrying out violent acts for the BOP. His decision to expose the alleged conspiracy marked a turning point in the saga, setting the stage for further developments. The plot thickened on June 6, 2025, when Kelly's legal team learned of a second alleged assassination attempt. Another Aryan Brotherhood member, David Keith Harris, claimed that a BOP official, Lieutenant Teague, had approached him with a similar proposition to kill both Kelly and Stein. Harris's statement alleged that Teague suggested using poison, which could be mixed into food from the prison chow hall or commissary, as a method to eliminate the two men discreetly. Poison was an appealing choice for the conspirators, as it could be mistaken for a health issue such as Kelly's pre-existing blood clot condition or passed off as an accidental overdose. Like Stein, Harris refused to participate and informed Kelly's legal team of the solicitation. The involvement of a second hitman suggested that the operation had shifted from targeting Kelly alone to a broader effort to eliminate both him and Stein, who had become a liability as a witness to the initial plot. These explosive allegations prompted Kelly's attorney, Bobby Brinley, to file an emergency motion in federal court in Chicago on June 10, 2025, seeking Kelly's immediate release to home detention. The motion argued that Kelly's continued imprisonment constituted cruel and unusual punishment under the Eighth Amendment, given the clear threat to his life. It included sworn statements from Stein and Harris, both of whom offered to testify and take polygraph tests to substantiate their claims. The filing accused three high-ranking BOP officials of orchestrating the plot, though their names were not publicly disclosed, likely due to ongoing litigation. BOP records confirmed Stein's transfer from Arizona to North Carolina, lending some credibility to the claims, but the agency declined to comment, citing privacy and security concerns. Prosecutors from the U.S. Attorney's Office in Chicago dismissed the allegations as baseless, arguing that Stein's criminal history undermined his credibility and labeling the claims a fanciful conspiracy theory designed to manipulate the court. The situation escalated dramatically just days after the motion was filed. On June 13, 2025, Kelly experienced a medical emergency that his legal team described as a deliberate assassination attempt. According to court documents, Kelly woke up in his solitary confinement cell at FCI Butner feeling lightheaded, dizzy, and seeing black spots. He collapsed while attempting to reach his cell door and lost consciousness. Prison medical staff, unable to treat him on site, rushed him to Duke University Hospital in Durham, North Carolina. Hospital tests reportedly revealed a life-threatening overdose of blood pressure and anxiety medications, as well as blood clots in Kelly's legs and lungs. His legal team alleged that prison staff had intentionally given him an excessive dose of his medications, a claim they tied to the timing of the public disclosure of the murder plot. They further argued that the BOP had removed Kelly from his prescribed blood thinners, exacerbating his medical condition and putting his life at risk. The hospital stay took an even more disturbing turn when, according to Kelly's attorneys, BOP officers entered his room and removed him at gunpoint against medical advice to return him to solitary confinement. Doctors had recommended a 7-day hospital stay and surgery to address the blood clots, which posed a severe risk of sudden death if untreated. Kelly's team claimed that this decision was part of a cover-up, with one official allegedly overheard saying that the situation would open a whole new can of worms. The legal team updated their motion on June 16 and 17, explicitly calling the overdose intentional and linking it to the broader conspiracy. They argued that prison surveillance footage would show Kelly receiving additional medication from staff, and hospital records would confirm the overdose and premature removal. In a desperate move, Kelly's attorney appealed directly to then-President Donald Trump, requesting a presidential pardon to save Kelly's life, citing the slow pace of the judicial system. Prosecutors, led by Assistant U.S. Attorney Jason Julian, responded by dismissing the claims as an attempt to mock Kelly's victims and argued that granting release would set a dangerous precedent. On June 20th, U.S. District Judge Martha M. Paco denied the motion, stating that she lacked the authority to grant furlough or home detention and found insufficient evidence to support Kelly's claims. The denial, issued without a hearing, suggested that the court viewed the allegations as lacking credibility.